Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Create Brevity. You can kind of think of this as the holiday edition to our podcast. And for this episode, I want to talk about using gratitude as a way to boost your manifesting and to boost your self-concept. But before we begin, I just want to remind you guys that we have an awesome blog on our website. And we also do offer one-on-one coaching on our website as well. So come check out createbrevity.com if you have any further questions. So let's begin. Gratitude. I've been sharing some other techniques with you guys about, using anxiety spirals, making peace with the worst outcome. But today I want to focus on gratitude for a bit. And actually, I want to share with you guys, the original name for this podcast was actually going to be the Thank You Pod. It was, the podcast was just going to be a celebration of gratitude and thanks. And while it's definitely, I think we're better off just calling it the same name as our website. Thanks and gratitude, is still a huge part of what we want to do with our blog and with our coaching and with our manifesting journey. And so I've personally found that making peace with the worst outcome, it can work in certain situations. But when I talk to certain people who have a lot of anxiety and who aren't as comfortable with thinking about the worst possible outcome, it can be something that is actually a little bit hurtful. The process can actually hurt a little bit more than it relieves. So if you're finding that it's hard for you to do that, I would advise you to try to use some gratitude. And it's an awesome perspective shift when you can just kind of go look at the world from one thing to another. And you can focus on all of the things that you don't have, or you can focus on all of the things that you do. If you're trying to manifest university, acceptance, for example, it can be really, really hard when all you can think about is how you don't have your acceptance yet. You don't know what your future is going to be. You feel that anxiety. But I would advise you just to be thankful at the awesome high school experience that you're about to leave behind. If it's possible to do that. If you had a terrible experience in high school, try to be grateful for the fact that that's ending, and regardless of what happens, that part of your life is over and you're free to choose something different. I think framing it in a way where you can express joy and express a little bit of thanks for your circumstances really helps kind of lessen the anxiety. And it really boosts your manifesting because it allows you not to get into that space where you're just waiting for something to happen. You can kind of clear your mind and focus your energy on all of the things that you actually do need to do. If you're just focused on why isn't the package here yet? Why is my SP not here yet? Then you can get into a space where you're living for your manifestation and you're forgetting the fact that before manifesting came into your life, before the SP, before you had to figure out college, before you had to figure out your job, you were 100% yourself. You're 100% complete within yourself. And it can be hard to forget. It can be hard to remember that, when you're so focused on something outside of you. Guys, for this holiday season, I know a lot of people are going through some hard times, and you're surrounded by people who are happy and joyful. Instead of feeling jealous, or instead of feeling regret that you're not one of those people, or feeling anxious at whether or not you'll have joy, I think the best thing to do is to just embrace them. Maybe not physically, of course, but in your heart. Look at their happy faces and their joy and just be reminded that you live in a world that is both happy and sad, and that it will turn and that you will have good times again. And that when you do, you're going to be one of those smiling people. You're going to be having an awesome holiday season. And I advise you to remember that, and I advise you to think of that. And if thoughts of your SP or thoughts of, your health, a new job for the new year, they crouch into your head, I want you to be thankful. Be thankful that you're lucky that those are the only problems that you have. It's sometimes we forget that there are people with real problems, different than ours, of course. Everyone has problems, but different circumstances, different situations that comparably to them might be worse. They might look at you and say, oh my God, this person is so lucky. I wish I had their apartment. I wish I had their closet, right? I wish I had their hair. Anything, right? And just as you are looking at maybe some people who are a little bit happier, have a little bit more, maybe they have the actual physical possessions that you want, there's going to be people looking at you and being awestruck. So I just want to make this podcast because I would advise you to try to make that perception shift, And if you find that it's hard and it's difficult, be thankful, even for that difficulty, because it means that you're trying. It means that you are actively on your way to becoming a better person, to becoming more conscious and more aware of yourself. And that's something that it takes time to get there. It takes time, so be kind to yourself. But if it's not exactly the way that you want it, then it's okay. It's okay for right now. Right? Today could be the day. Tomorrow could be another day. But just take the days, okay? Get out of your head. Get out of your home for a second. Get some fresh air. Go for a walk. Maybe volunteer. There's plenty of people who need help on the holidays. Be around people who care about you and love you, right? And just remind yourself that whatever is bothering you next year, 2 years from now, okay, it won't bother you anymore. Either because you'll have manifested exactly what you want, which I know is possible for every single one of you, or something better will have come into your life. Now, I am definitely one of those people that believes in getting exactly what you want, but I am also one of those people who has learned through her own experiences, through her own trial and error, that obsessively focusing on the thing that you want and how you're kind of focusing on it to the point where all you can see is the fact that it's not there, it definitely takes a toll. It's not worth it. It is genuinely better to let your subconscious, to let the universe, to let God hold it for you and to take care of it for you. I genuinely believe that. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. And that's why I'm so thankful every single time I have to learn that lesson, because I know I'm leveling up. I'm getting better. So do whatever you have to do to accept your emotions, to acknowledge them, and then slowly start to release them, okay? By acknowledging the fact that you don't have physical certainty right now, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't still believe in something. You can't still have faith. A lot of people want physical certainty because it gives them permission to believe, to have faith in themselves, to have faith in the manifesting process. And what I'm telling you is you don't need any reason to believe that it's going to get better. It just is about having the faith. And eventually it's about knowing, okay, that you're capable of anything you set your mind to, no matter how big or how small. and that it's the exact same method, small or big. It takes the exact same method to get exactly what you want. And the person I want to thank for today's podcast, and the person I want to thank always, is my dad, who is dealing with some health conditions right now, but at the same time is probably one of the most naturally good sort of resistance busting people I've ever met. And that's truly, I've never met anyone who's able to just decide they want something and then let it go as quickly. And if anything comes up, if any circumstances come up, they just go, so what? I can go through it. I can beat it. Throughout the entire course of my life, I have to say I've never met anyone who's better at that than him. So I definitely want to thank him for that. And I also want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much. When I first started the podcast, I didn't think anyone would listen. I wasn't sure if any of this stuff would be as helpful. You know, there's a lot of manifesting coaches and teachers, and I didn't know if I could contribute more to that space. But as I gave myself the permission to believe in myself, as I started manifesting this, and as I started becoming certified, I realized that there's so many different voices out there because different voices resonate with different people. And if you're not resonating with someone, it's okay to go look for someone else. And it's also okay to stick with someone and see if it works. And I realized that if I could help one person or two or three, get better at manifesting, but also just have more faith in themselves day by day, then it was definitely something that I wanted to try. And I haven't not regretted it at all. So I want to thank you guys so much for this opportunity to be able to talk to you and for you guys to listen. So hopefully this helps. I've been told by some listeners that I have a very soothing voice. So I've tried to make this as soothing of a holiday thank you podcast as I could. So try gratitude. If you're trying all the techniques, if it's not working, if you're still feeling anxious, I want you to go for a walk, right? Volunteer. Be with people that love you. Be thankful for their presence in your life. And try being grateful. And just try knowing that there is a million people in this world that actually want to be you. And they're so jealous of you. And all the things that you have, they're trying to manifest them right now. So embrace the joy of people around you, right? If you can feel yourself getting anxious around them, or feel yourself getting irritated, annoyed around them, just relax and look at their smiling faces and have faith that you will one day be one of them, and that you're going to be smiling even harder. And hopefully, when you're in that position, you can spread a little bit more joy to those around you as well. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Love and light.